Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our afternoon story time. Today I picked a story that is by Curious George, which I know is one of our favorites. And this is Curious George Goes to a Bookstore. I know right now we can't go to the bookstore, but it's something that we can look forward to again. And Curious George is written by Margaret and H.A. Reyes. Curious George Goes to a Bookstore. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat, were going to the grand opening of a bookstore in their neighborhood. George's favorite author was going to be signing her latest Penny the Penguin picture book. He had every Penny book she'd ever written. He couldn't wait to meet her. So George was really excited to meet the author of one of his favorite book series. Have you ever met the author of any of the books that you read at home? But when they arrived at the bookstore, they found a long line. It was zigzagged between the bookshelves. "Oh, we'll purchase the book first and then wait in line to get it signed," said his friend. "There are a lot of kids who also love Penny the Penguin." The line inched forward and stopped, inched forward and stopped. George climbed onto his friend's shoulders and tried to take a peek at the author. But he was small and she was hidden by the crowd. It's a long line, isn't it? To be very patient to wait in such a long line. He looked around the bookstore. So many new books. What stories would they hold inside? What funny characters would he meet? "You be a good little monkey and don't wander off too far," said the man with the yellow hat, letting George down and picking up a bird watching guide from a nearby shelf. "You wouldn't want to miss getting your book signed." Well, George was happily flipping through storybooks when he noticed the wonderful smell of banana bread. Now, what is George's favorite food? Do you remember? If you guessed bananas, you guessed correctly. It made his stomach rumble. Oh, George was curious. Could there be food in a bookstore? Food and drink were never allowed in the library. George decided to find out. Have any of you made banana bread at home recently? I know a lot of people have been baking. As soon as he turned the corner, he discovered glass shelves filled with baked goods instead of books. It was a small cafe. Next to the cabinet was a table with a sign advertising free samples. George watched people help themselves to little squares of banana bread. He took one too. Yum! A little girl saw George and tugged on her father's sleeve. "Daddy, look, that monkey likes banana bread too." "Well, yes, I suppose monkeys would enjoy banana bread," he responded, still looking at his book. Well, George was reaching for another sample, and then another and another. Uh-oh, are you supposed to keep taking lots of samples? Or should you only take how many? One? Probably. We want to make sure other people get a taste too, right? He saw the little girl and her father leave the cafe area. Tucked under the girl's arm was George's favorite dinosaur book. He decided to follow them. They led him past a display of dinosaur books in the science area of the store. The display was as tall as the man with the yellow hat. It was hard to resist a little monkey who loves to climb. Hard to resist for a little monkey that loves to climb. I know some of you love to climb too, don't you? George climbed onto the first tier. With so many books to look at, he wasn't sure where to start. He saw his favorite dinosaur book, but he also saw other books. One pictured an apatosaurus eating leaves, and another showed pterodactyls soaring above waterfalls. He climbed from tier to tier until he reached the very top. From above, he noticed a stack of boxes in the corner of the store. The boxes were shaped like presents, but the bows and wrapping paper were missing. What could be inside them? You see the boxes? They each contain a stack of the newest Penny the Penguin picture book. George leapt down and opened the boxes. Uh-oh, should he have opened boxes that didn't belong to him? No, I don't think so either. George wondered, why were the books in boxes? They should be in a big display with the dinosaur books. George had an idea. What do you think his idea was? I think I have a feeling. Let's see. George got to work right away. He balanced the books one by one, as if he were building with blocks. People in line marveled at what he was doing, except for the man with the yellow hat, who was engrossed in his new birdwatching guide. The tower of the books grew and grew and grew, and so did the crowd's amazement. What a wonderful display, said a woman. Wow, look what that monkey made, exclaimed a little boy. Pretty amazing. Making a whole tower of books? Stop, shouted a nearby bookseller. You shouldn't have opened those boxes. But George was having too much fun to notice. From the top of his display, George looked down and finally saw the bookseller, the manager, and the man with the yellow hat peering up at him. That monkey opened all of our boxes for the signing, complained the bookseller. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The manager smiled at George. Oh, he certainly did, and now we don't have to. I think his tower of books is a masterpiece. Oh, the manager asked George if he would like to help with the signing. Oh, George was delighted. He could finally get to meet his favorite author. There she is, sitting at the desk, right here. It's the author he was waiting to meet. And he's going to help her with the signings because there's so many friends there that would like to get a signed copy of her new book. George made sure each book was open to the right page, ready for the author's signature. He thought it was funny that her name was Penny, just like the penguin in her books. As she finished signing the last book, Penny turned to George and smiled. Thank you so much for all of your help today. It was great to have the extra hands and feet. But there's one book I still need to sign. Penny the Penguin and the Polar Bear Club. To my new friend George. Keep reading. Signed, Penny. She inscribed the book and handed it to George. Inside was a note saying, to my new friend George, keep reading. Right here is where she wrote her name. I bet some of you have some books that have been signed by the author. George loved his new book. It was special and one of a kind. He had such an adventurous day at the bookstore, he couldn't wait to visit again. The end. I can't wait till we can all go to the bookstore again too, and the libraries. Something that we can look forward to. Bye-bye.